right. Good morning, everybody. This is coverage of part one of the 2023 Santa's Head Memorial Tournament, the main event. Now, this was a $250 buy-in, $500 from two anonymous, very generous benefactors was added to this prize pool, making the total prize for winning this tournament $1,000, a nice even $1,000, although I think it was 20% gets automatically deducted and sent to charity. So actually, whoever wins this tournament will probably win $800, but it's still a pretty significant sum to say the least. It is a 2-day event. The games I'm going to cover today are part one, which took place on the 10th, so it actually took place some time ago, and the finals will actually be tomorrow. I believe there are a total of 21 games, but some of these games did not count towards the tournament. They were just sort of after party games, if you will, because people started leaving, other people started joining, and that kind of thing. Anyway, so just to quickly update everybody, the two team captains were determined to be Karma and Spy. So both Karma and Spy, ponied up the $250 to hopefully lead their team to victory. Now, what you see here in the player list is actually me as the captain. Don't let it confuse you. Karma was the captain, and he just joined me, mostly because he wanted to hand off the sort of secretary duties, if you will, to me. But Karma is indeed the captain of this team, as is Spy, and again, Scratch doing sort of the secretarial duties, if you will. Now, because Karma and Spy, are pretty good friends, and they ponied up the money to play in this tournament, I just kind of gave them free reign over the rules. They decided to draft one person, and then everybody else random. So why Karma chose me as the first pick, I'll never know, but it's also a fool's errand to try and understand what goes to that psychopath's head. But on the other hand, Scratch, I think Spy actually technically had the first pick. So Spy choosing Scratch, he's been a solid performer throughout the entire tournament, throughout his entire World War II career. And so, him going first isn't really too much of a surprise. After Scratch, it kind of drops off from there. We also have Trent Reznor, Demolition, Father Xmas, and Gerald. So it is a party of 8. So these games will be 4-on-4. Game number 1, Recon Body Count. Let's get into it. Shift F7, caps lock. I don't know why the camera started here. Okay, there we go. All right, and so this is a next door start. Let me just do that. So Team Overdose should really be heading towards this hill. Karma saying that the glare on his monitor is really bad. Almost hitting a moonshot there. Spy almost dying. We have someone over here, Demolition, going off by himself. Perhaps he should have stuck with the team. They're being pushed. They're being pushed into the swamps. Overdose is going to obliterate Gerald with a fire nade. And Team Scratch is going to retreat into the swamps. Spy and Scratch are saying that this game doesn't count, but it indeed does count. We see Karma going for the pile pop, and he is going to get popped instead. Although he does do a little bit of damage, and he does pop the pile.
Minutes remaining.
Now it looks like Karma's team happy to camp on the south hill with, this hill being of particular strategic importance, as well as this RPG pile. We'll see what happens. I think Team Karma could be using this opportunity to launch some RPGs. Either that or using RPGs to blow up other RPGs that they can potentially use against us. Couple of errant RPGs there from Spy and Trent. Scratch with the med kit. Demolition going to pop that pile. He's almost going to get killed. And the Beagle Brigade is going to take a 1 damage lead. Karma not really giving out any orders here, even though the orders should have been somewhat self-evident. I feel that perhaps camping on this hill may have been our undoing. Overdose getting a bit spicy. I think he's going to try and do something stupid. I think he's going to try and cut them off. Father Xmas is close behind. Demolition, who is super red, he can't really do much. Overdose going for the fire nade. He's gonna get him there with the fire nade. So that's 2 fire nade kills for Overdose. He just loves to see the world burn. Overdose going for some heals. This is actually kind of smart if Overdose and whoever's Father Xmas can get on the same page. Almost a nice heal nade there. Just healing to obstruct the movement of Spy, but these other players, they can't do much because they're so red. It really is coming down to a game of just single damage points here. Like 1 hit with 1 minute left could be the difference. I think Overdose is just hightailing it out of there. This is about 1 damage point. He's kind of lucky he didn't die there. And Father Xmas is running away.
30 seconds remaining.
Great sort of final stand there from Demolition. He got completely abandoned by his team, however justifiably so. But he did get that final shot, which could be the difference maker here. It is now a tie game. Overdose coming to just close this game out. Good dodging from Father Xmas. And it is going to be a victory for Team Karma. As noted by the perm, the way body count works is you know, whoever's the first team to get the damage in question, that's the tiebreaker. And since our team got to 35 first, we emerged victorious. And so, you know, Gerald, I don't know what happened. Scratch, you know, ate a fire nade there. Nice damage from Trent. He sort of kept his team in the game, you know, especially with that pile pop of Karma, which sort of rebalanced the game to a 3-on-3 match. You know, Overdose again, a couple of kills with those fire nades. But yeah, I mean, it really was a team effort. You know, like even though someone like Demolition only had 1 damage, he was absolutely instrumental in drawing fire up in this area, and then again, that 1 shot that connected as he was dying, that could very well have been the difference. And so, you know, don't let those stats fool you. There was a good contribution from everybody, and yeah, it's interesting how the starting positions were here and here, and then by the end of the game, it was all up in this area. Scratch's team or Spy's team, you know, had to go all the way to the North Hill, and we just kind of camped here, which you know, not really a fan of. You know, usually when you know that your opponent is in this area, you want to be here, and you know, I know Karma was kind of in the general vicinity, launching RPGs from the middle, but you know, I think if he instructed his team to continue to this area and then maybe have 1 guy seal off in the swamps, it would have been over a lot quicker. But as it stands, 35-35, Team Karma ekes out a victory, and that is game number 1. Now, since that game was so intense, we just had to run it back. And so this is pretty much the same thing, but game number 2, keep in mind that there's only 2 players fixed to each team, everybody else randoms. And Stalin has decided to join as well, so I think we will have 5-on-4. Spy telling his team to go to the North Hill, but Team Karma is already there. So they probably see each other by now. Spy forced to pop the pile. Not sure who has RPGs and who doesn't at this point. Spy is not in a enviable position. You know, I think Karma could be calling for the rush right now. You know, we have 5 people on, well, now it's 5 on 5, but I think there was a split-second window where we could have rushed it. And Gerald is going to go down. Trent Reznor taking some big damage. And then Spy and Overdose fighting off to the side. Trent deciding to heal, even though it's a body count game. Oh, I don't know about that. And Stalin is not doing much in the way of fighting. We see Stalin, he's not firing his weapon, he's just kind of running in circles here. I don't know what his plan is, or if he's even here. Karma getting pile popped again. Finally, Stalin deciding to take some shots. Yeah, I'm not sure why Stalin wasn't shooting as much. Maybe he was having some connection issues. Even though it is 3 on 4, the score is somewhat close. Usually in this kind of scenario, you want to attack the guy with 2 soldiers, because it's a little bit hard to dodge, and so Stalin joins in on the fun. But I think Trent and Overdose, veteran moves there, going after the guy with 2. Father Xmas dropping the game for some reason. But yeah, Team Karma definitely has the upper hand. Stalin gonna get killed by a grenade. Overdose, missing with and that's gonna do it. So I actually think that Team Karma had a really good chance at winning this game. I think Trent and Overdose could have taken care of these red guys a little bit faster. So maybe that was the difference maker. But, yeah, I mean, that's going to tie it up 1-1. Let's see. And then, that's the second straight game that our team leader, Karma, has removed himself, shuffled off this mortal coil by standing on an ammo pile. Not exactly the kind of leadership that you want to see. But, yeah, this is the third game. This is again, these games were pretty fun, so we're just going to keep rolling with it. So now this time it's Overdose, Karma, Gerald, Stalin, and Father Xmas versus Scratch, Spy, Demolition, and Trent. Now I think Spy is going definitely to the North Hill. Team Karma, no real instructions, but it seems like they're going to the South Hill. Karma's still complaining about the glare he has. Nice RPG there to kill Gerald. It may just be me, but it seems like Geralt has been the first death in pretty much every game so far, even though there's only been 3. So Team Karma off to a 5-4 disadvantage. However, Stalin seems to have spared his unit to Geralt. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I really have no idea. So we see Karma going plains, everyone else staying on this hill. I think this is actually a good time to press the action.
Minutes remaining.
Overdose saying let Karma flank, and you know this is a really good time to go 3-on-1 versus this guy, or Spy, but nobody seems to be, I don't think anybody's seeing it, and that's going to allow these two to reinforce Spy in the plains. Well, actually, they are engaging a Spy, but it's a little too late, to be honest. And now it looks like Team Karma's getting surrounded here.
Eliminated.
And that's gonna do it. Yeah, so I think when the person who had 2 units and Karma were up here, Spy was by himself, and you know, there were 2 units over in this area, that was the time for these 3 units here to move in. But they did it a bit late, and actually Spy ended up being a sort of bait of a sort, and as soon as those 3 units moved in, the 2 units from here swooped in, and from there was just a huge crossfire, and there was nothing much to be done. But yeah, I mean, I think had Karma called for the rush, or if Overdose called for the rush, or anybody a little bit earlier, I think the game could have been very different, because these 2 would have been too late to the show. But that's what it is. Alright, now this is game number 4. I think Geralt in the last game said that he had to go, so I think it's back to 8 players. Now this is game number 4. Yep, so we have Stalin and Trent for Team Karma, Demolition and Father Xmas for Team Spy. Now this is a pretty much an opposite starts map, so I think I'm just going to fast forward this a bit in the interest of time. Okay. Should be seeing each other about now. One thing you'll notice is Team Spy's units are pretty widely dispersed. We have Demolition and Karma in the swamps. Scratch going to help Demolition. And we've actually seen this pattern quite a bit, where everybody but Karma likes to hang out on this south hill. Now the south hill is a good strategic point to defend against disadvantages, but when you have the advantage, such as when it's 3 versus 2, you should actually get your butt off the hill and rush these guys. So I don't know why that isn't happening. We see Overdose attempting to rally his troops. He sees it, but I don't think Stalin and Trent see the advantage that we had. And I think Overdose needs to try and run away now. And we see some unloading on the pile. Overdose trying to hold off these guys. Again, Team Spy is so spread out. Karma should really be calling for a rush here of somebody. We have 4-on-3 this way or 4-on-1 that way. But instead, we're sort of just getting surrounded. I think Karma should definitely be calling for a rush here. Or it should be calling for some kind of aggression. No one's saying anything about Scratch. Nice RPG there from Scratch. Stalin's going to take some damage. And Stalin's going to go down. I think Karma's going to go down. You see a suicide RPG there from Trent. But I think this one is pretty much done. I don't even have a fire nade, so I'm as good as dead. That was a fire nade that would have killed him, for sure.
Team eliminated.
But I mean, there was just a complete breakdown in communication. Scratch was able to sort of come from behind and cause all kinds of havoc. Nobody for Team Karma said anything. I think, again, when Scratch was way back here and there were 3 people over here and Karma's team was in its entirety, we could have did the 4-on-3 rush. And so, I think it's a case of people recognizing the advantages, but nobody's really saying anything. And so, when Scratch was up here, nobody said behind or anything like that. And so, I think it was Stalin who got blown up here. When somebody comes from behind and kills you, you usually have to tell your teammates, there's a guy behind, or defense, or whatever. Just call out something. But the communication from Team Karma seems to be lacking.
Game over.
All right, and so it's now Spy's Team 3, Karma's Team 1. Going into game number 5. Here we go. All right, so now it is Stalin and Demolition for Team Karma, Father Xmas and Trent for Team Spy. And we're not starting next to each other, but we're still starting pretty close. Spy's team is going to grab the hill. Karma's team is a bit scattered. Karma wisely popping the RPGs and then getting the heck out of there. We see Demolition, Karma, and Stalin on one side. Ooh, Stalin's going to get blown up. And overdose on this. I think overdose wisely trying to get out of dodge here. Or maybe he's waiting for... Maybe all hope is gone and he's just waiting for a suicide. Yeah, the suicide RPG isn't even going to work out. But that suicide did allow Karma and Demolition to take the hill here, which wasn't by design, but I'm glad Karma and Demolition, with some veteran instincts, you know, were able to recognize the opportunity to take the hill. Demolition with a nice RPG there.
Team eliminated.
And Karma's going to get stabbed to close out the game. But yeah, I mean, it's when one team gets the hill, it's pretty hard to defend, and you know, no one. Perhaps the correct strategy would have been to go to the plains and then try and redirect through the South Hill. But you know, I don't think there was really anything crazy. I mean, obviously, you know, Stalin getting naded here, that was a big loss. You know, that there's some couple of players who are almost more liability than they are asset in terms of which team they're on. But yeah, interesting game. It's now 4-1 in Team Spy's favor. Going into game number 6. Here we go. Alright, so now we have switched it to S2, but it's still body count. I think we might have said 3 cannons. Yes, okay, so it's 3 cannons, body count.
Game on.
Let's see, overdose with the cannons for Team Karma. And Scratch deciding to split the cannons for his team. Now, I personally like the idea of keeping all the cannons with one person, because when all 3 of those cannons control click a shot, you're going to get, you know, sort of an AoE, area of effect damage on a singular point, which means the chances of hitting somebody increase. Furthermore, because the number of players for each team are so small, it allows everyone else to just, you know, strictly focus on their soldiers. Now, the sort of counter argument is that if you use, you know, these hotkeys or you know, presets, which I consider to still be cheating after all these years, but if you use those, then you can focus on your soldiers, hotkey your cannon, have him help you out, specifically in case the person who has all 3 cannons can't see where you are. So there's a little bit you know, of a debate of sorts. Spy able to get some damage. See, this is what I'm talking about here. You know, I probably control clicked on that RPG and got pretty close. But no cigar. I still think it's the right play though. Now we see in yeah, just out of range. We see Stalin getting pretty aggressive here. Launching some RPGs, getting one of Father Xmas's units. But he's going to get cannoned. Overdose should be moving his guy. should be moving his cannons a bit farther. We see Karma shooting a person in the plains. One of these cannons is going to get one of Karma's soldiers. This is Karma versus Father Xmas here. Soldier's gonna go down. That's gonna kill somebody. See Spy rushing right up the gut. Meanwhile, one of Overdose's cannons is going to go down. See these spares here from Trent Reznor. They could be doing something. Doing some damage on these cannons. Did you see that stab and how little damage it did? Scratch a soldier, go down. Overdose unable to connect with these cannons. We see a rush of sorts. Oh, just a massive explosion there. Everything's blowing up. Now we see Trent moving in here. Nice shot there. See Trent chasing down this soldier here. And Xmas with the turn stab. So now we have Overdose. Overdose has 2 cannons. Oh, that should have killed that cannon right there. Against a Spy and Demolition cannon and a Father Xmas soldier. And I think that was some friendly fire there.
5 minutes remaining.
I think had Overdose not fired, he hit everything except Karma in this game. Had that friendly fire shot not landed, Karma probably would have killed Father Xmas, and with the lone soldier remaining, he could have polished off these two soldiers. I would have stopped firing. I would have just turned my guys around and ran for the hills. And Karma could have finished it off. But instead, it looks like Demolition and Spy are going to take this victory via a cannon battle. That was close. And there it is. Yeah, so, one of the things I would note is that, since I had the cannons, I was mostly just focusing here. Karma obviously was over here. Stalin, I think, went planes as well. But Trent, I mean, he had like 3 guys in the backfield, and so, I mean, with me on the hill, and Trent's, with most of Trent's guys in the back, it was really Karma and Stalin against everybody on Team Spy. So, that's going to be tough to do. And I think, perhaps, I still have confidence in my, one person controls all 3 cannons strategy, but it only works if, everybody else is active on the field. Now, I'm not trying to heap blame on Trent because, obviously he was in the middle doing damage with his, like, one guy at a time, and, he's really good with that. But, I think if he had all 4 of his soldiers over here somewhere, could have been a lot more effective. But, yeah, I mean, this game kind of felt like 4-on-2. Everybody against Karma and Stalin. Not enough support in the planes. But also some really great cannon shots from Demolition and Spy. So it was a well-deserved win for Team Spy.
Game over.
Here's game number 7. Alright, so this time it's Father Xmas and Trent for Team Karma, Stalin and Demolition for Team Spy. This is the same rules, the same 3 cannons.
Game on.
Just a reminder, it is 5 games Spy, 1 game Karma. Scratch deciding to split the cannons amongst Stalin, Demolition, and Scratch. Karma saying, try shooting something this game. Well, just a reminder, Karma, I shot you in the back last game, so I did shoot something. I'm still very confident that the 3 cannons for 1 person is the optimal, but everybody else needs to be out there on offense. No zombies. Karma going planes by himself, but actually nobody else is in the planes, and we actually see a pretty strong swamps force. Spy going to the swamps, trying to scout the cannons, no doubt. But he actually has a pretty clear path to the cannons. Almost getting a kill there. have more of these zombies here. Karma should be popping somebody. Oh, he missed it. Okay. He did get it. But it was kind of an embarrassing RPG there from Karma. He's just kind of lucky that AoE blast triggered those RPGs. But nice work there from Karma. Overdose saying, we would have won if you didn't run into my cannonball at the end. Alright, so this time we're seeing Overdose creeping forward, which he didn't do last game, which was sort of an elementary mistake on his part. Now we're seeing one cannon kind of going off to the side here. Interesting decision. We'll see if it bears any fruit. We see Stalin kind of by himself. He has two soldiers and the cannon. Meanwhile, we have Father Xmas and Trent working the swamps here. We do see a spy flank going after the cannons. And those cannonballs pretty much hit everywhere but the cannon. Just unable to connect. Meanwhile, we see Spy going after the cannons himself, throwing some nades, that kind of deal. He's going to get one cannon. He's going to do tremendous damage to the second one. Oh, he's actually going to get both of them. You know, again, these zombies could have helped out, but at the same time, no one really said anything. I guess that was probably my fault. But we do have 58% to 29%, but keep in mind they have two cannons still, so it's actually somewhat close. Well, actually, one of those cannons going down now. But yeah, don't let the percentages deceive you. It still is any team's game right now. We have a Trent Reznor zombie that needs to get going. Father Xmas, this is sort of the everybody needs to rush scenario. Trent and Spy fighting over here. See Karma and Scratch fighting in the middle. Overdose trying to help out Scratch, or sorry, Karma. Overdose taking some fire from these guys while Karma heals. Overdose doing a crazy suicide rush. Spy walking on these mines right here. Yep, Spy is going to get annihilated. Overdose with a nice stab there too. And gonna nade the cannon. The cannon might be going for a suicide. Okay, Karma's gonna get that last cannon. So now it is very much in Karma's team's favor. And it's kind of just mop-up duty at this point.
Remaining.
And there we go. Yep, so, we saw a little more soldier play from Overdose, from myself. That seemed to have made the difference. Or some more difference. And,
Game over.
I think at this point I realized, like, maybe I should play the soldiers and hand the cannons off to somebody else. Alright, so now it's 5-2 in favor of Spy. See, that was game 7, right? Wait. Okay, yes, so we should be doing game number 8. Same settings. We have Stalin and Trent on Team Karma, Father Xmas and Demolition on Team Spy.
Game on.
Yeah, I think this game I gave Stalin all 3 of the cannons. And I decided to go for the soldiers. Let's see if that strategic shift makes any difference. Or instead Stalin actually sparing out some cannons to me and Trent. Again, I don't really like spreading out the cannons because it's going to be a distraction for whoever has the soldiers, or soldiers and the cannon, unless they cheat with the presets. So I mean, I'm not really a fan of it, but our team is down a lot, so maybe there's something to it. So we see Overdose and Karma in the plains, a classic move, but nobody is actually going plains for Team Spy. They have kind of bottled themselves. They've either been really slow picking up ammo, or it's their strategy to kind of play a more defensive game. Yeah, Karma noticing that they don't even bother to go plains. Father Xmas now does have some plains presence. There's no real offensive presence anywhere else. We have Trent playing a pretty much all defense, it seems. Stalin and Spy fighting. That's not going to be good for the... Oh. Everybody missed. Everybody missed that RPG pile there. Fascinating. But, is that my cannon? Yeah, my cannon's going to get one of those. He already... Overdose. My cannon already has 2 kills. Not to brag or anything. But yeah, the offense seems to have tapered from the plains. Trent seems to be content to just play defense. Looks like a friendly cannon shot there from Stalin. Karma should be unloading some nades on these cannons, but he might be out. I mean, this is a target-rich environment. All of these cannons should be just bombing this hill. I don't know. I seem to be the only person. I don't even know if I can reach that hill. But, okay, these guys finally get it. Nice shot there to kill a cannon. I think that was, maybe it was me. I don't know. And my cannon's gonna die. But yeah, I mean, I think we should really be pushing the action here. You know, the reason why Trent's 4 guys are on defense is because he's manning the cannon. And so I think what Trent should be doing is just handing off all, 3 out of his 4 guys to either Karma, or maybe 2 to Karma, 1 to Stalin, something like that. Just so we could focus on the cannon, which, that seems to be his focus at this point. Nice RPG there from Karma. But yeah, I mean, to have Trent with 4 soldiers and the cannon, it's kind of silly. Some damage to the cannon, but getting shot by an RPG in the process. Trent's going to lose 2 soldiers. Looks like a pretty good shot. Just missed. And Trent's cannon's gonna get blown up.
5 minutes remaining.
You see Karma trying to pick off this cannon. He's going to get one of them. Just misses Father Xmas. But Karma is going to get that cannon. It is now 3 on 4. With one guy pretty red. Go, Karma is going to go down. Overdose calling for the rush planes because this guy is closest to the red guy, but Trent is having none of it. And that's an explosion there. I was trying to pick up the RPG in there. I couldn't find it, I guess. Maybe I misclicked. There's usually 2 RPGs there, I think. Maybe 3. And Trent's gonna go down. But, yeah, I mean, it was a pretty close game, and so, you know, well played by both sides, but I will say that, you know, it kind of hurts when Trent has 4 guys, you know, he's just all defense, and because he's focusing so much on the cannon, which is, you know, again, you know, my thesis is that, you know, one guy should have all the cannons. I gave him all to Stalin, but he spat them right back in my face. Well, he actually did keep one for himself, but you know, I think you know, having one cannon per person is just, you know, a waste of focus. And I think the example there was, you know, me and Trent each having to man a cannon and soldiers, and it's just ultimately too distracting. But it was a well-played game on both sides. Alright, so just a reminder, it is Spy's Team 6, Karma's Team 2, headed into game number 9. And I think we have gone back to Auto Squad. This is Assassin. Now this is a reminiscent of game number 2, I think, where Spy's team was able to grab the hill very quickly, and we were out of position. This is pretty much the exact same layout. Karma up front. He's going to try and go for the pile. And then he's going to back up. So this is shaping up to be very similar to the game, you know, game number 2. Except I think Karma's team is getting a little more aggressive this time. Now keep in mind, this is an assassin, and by default the captain gets the assassin unit. So if anyone is paying attention, they would know that both Scratch and I have the assassin target, which will be the case about 90% of the time, unless, you know, we decide to hand it off to be a little tricky. But I don't think we're advanced enough for that kind of play. All of Team Spy has used their RPGs, and I don't think Team Karma had any RPGs to begin with, so nice nade there. Had it cooked off a bit faster, Spy might have been killed. Kind of a wild move a wild move from Father Xmas. I don't know what his strategic goals are for getting off the hill. Karma's now chasing him, but yeah, I think Father Xmas is going to come back to the hill. I don't know what his plan was there. Karma has to be a bit conservative because he's low in health. Father Xmas is engaging.
5 minutes remaining.
Stalin is pretty red as well. Yeah. This is a strategic blunder from Father Xmas. And Karma cannot pick up a fire nade. Father Xmas is going to get lucky. I really think that was a huge mistake on his part. Lucky Spy was there to back him up, and Karma had some trouble picking up the fire nade. I think Overdose sees how red Father Xmas is. That's why I'm getting a bit aggressive here. Did you see the fire nade go through Spy? That was disgusting. I'm pretty sure it literally just went through his body. I'll have to reevaluate that, but it wouldn't have mattered much because Spy was not the target. Scratch was actually the target. But yeah, interesting game there. Again, you know, I think Father Xmas made a really silly move by walking off the hill. Karma, you know, should have been able to finish him off pretty quickly had there not been issues picking up that fire nade. Yeah, I mean, this is the second game where we had those two starts, and they basically just camped on the hill. And, you know, could we have gone to the plains? Maybe, but, you know, I also think it was a decent fight, and, you know, they just happened to come out on top for the second game. Yeah, so this is game number 10, Assassin again. Here we go. So this time we have Stalin and Trent for Team Karma, Demolition and Father Xmas for Team Spy. I don't know why it started me on this camera. Okay, there we go. I'm sure that those camera field of view starting locations will be fixed in the next version of Heroes. But as it stands, we have Trent Reznor getting the assassin unit. You know, I think Overdose is trying to be a little tricky. I mean, in my experience, Trent is usually the guy who dies last in patrol games, whether it's because he's just really good or it's because he tends to play a bit passively and just lob RPGs and other such nonsense. That's up for debate, but you know, I think passing off the assassin unit to Trent is a smart decision. Again, because his survivability is high, and it also might confuse them a bit, and it allows me to get a little more aggressive. Karma popping the pile. We see a one-on-one match forming up in the swamps. And now people seem to be backing off now. Karma almost getting pile popped again, but he picked up that RPG just in time. Overdose needs to run away, I think. I'm not sure what Stalin was doing there. Oh, nice dodging there. Stalin is going to get the kill, so well done, Stalin. Yeah, I mean, obviously the Scratch perhaps was getting a little too aggressive in the plains, but yeah, I mean, it was just kind of a
game over.
Interesting game, I guess. Good moves from Stalin, and there we go. This is game number 11. Alright, so now we have Stalin and Demolition on Team Karma, Father Xmas and Trent on Team Spy. So let's see who Overdose gives the... oh, I think Overdose is just going to keep it for himself. Scratch keeping the assassin target for himself as well. Now, Team Karma is able to get on the hill this time first, and let's see how Team Spy reacts. Spy is really hurting now. He's a little too close to that pile. He's gonna kill Stalin. See this battle going on behind Trent and I think Karma. Karma's gonna shoot him in the face. That was a terrible RPG by me right there. So we see Karma going to start lobbing. And he almost gets Scratch. Right as I was about to say that there's no way they have RPGs, so we should have just rushed them, Karma puts one right in the bread basket, almost kills Scratch, and then it was easy pickings for Demolition and myself. I don't know who actually got the... well, I guess Demolition must have gotten the kill. So yeah, nice RPG there from Karma. And... you know, again, this is an example of why having the hill is so advantageous, because, you know, in those two games where Team Spy was able to get the hill, in game 2, and I think the last game, or 2 games ago, they won, and then in this game, we grabbed the hill first, and, you know, it wasn't really close. You know, even that pile pop that got Spy down to red, you know, he was still in such a terrible position, it probably wouldn't have mattered much. it wouldn't have mattered much anyway. So, you know, again, it really just highlights the importance of getting to the hill as fast as possible. All right, and this is someone's talking to me here. Artillero. I can respond to him later. This is game. Well, actually, I think I'll stop it here because there's 21 games. Yeah, I think I'll take a break. It's been an hour. I'll cover games 12 through 21 in the next video. Just as a recap, it is now Spy's team 7, Karma's team 4. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time.